And that's how we solve the riddle of steel. Anyway, tell us more.
All right, so the bulkhead opens up, and inside you see the hab room, the dorm itself. The walls of the room are covered in profane sigils, all clearly written with blood. Around the floor of the room is more pooled blood and several clearly human organs that have had definite bites taken out of them. And then on the floor in the room on all fours is a woman you assume to be Gabrielle. She has torn away most of her tunic, and her skin is once again covered in sigils that she seems to have clawed into herself with her own nails.
Are they chaos sigils?
Definitely, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
she drops the piece of viscera she was currently chewing on. You can see that from like chewing on harder material like bone, her teeth have actually become broken and almost filed, and a long forked serpentine tongue rolls out of her mouth and licks the last piece of gore off her face as she looks at you with a sort of animal intensity. So I would like, just from the amount of, it's not so much fear, it's more about the fact that there is a demonic system here. I need the two of you please to make willpower rolls at +0.
What about +30?
I think Emperor's Protect is a bonus share.
What about, I spent a fate point to re-roll that.
Are you positive? Because you can always get terribly worse.
I know the Emperor Protects makes you immune from the effect of
right.
demonic presence, which is a -10 penalty.
That's the gamble you play with re-rolling that.
But I had to risk it. What was my choice? Fail?
Yeah. It's the thing is if you fail, you see how badly you failed by.
No, I risk it. Failure is never an option.
So willpower +10, you said?
No, +0. Normally it's -10, but your Emperor Protects and removes the demonic presence impact of it.
Okay. I think I get to re-roll this for free. Hang on. Re-rolled, failed fear, re-rolled pinning. Okay, so no.
No, it's not a fear or pinning test. It's a corruption test.
Well, that's normal. Nero gets corruption in the wings all the time when no one's looking.
Should I keep that or should I re-roll that, Arthur? What do you think?
Listen, it's a failure is a failure. If you need to succeed, succeed.
I'm pretty sure that means you'll have to roll the corruption insanity thing at a +0. So it's essentially if you fail this roll, the next roll that's coming up gets modified.
No, you're thinking of the fear test. You're thinking of a fear test. That's how that works.
Okay.
Yeah, when you fail a fear test, you add your degrees of failure ×10 to the mental disorder roll.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. It might be fine then. Probably not.
All right, fuck it. Is this a psychic technique?
No.
Okay, I'm going to re-roll it.
Okay.
That was a bad idea.
We are afraid.
No worries. Okay, so you both take 1 point of corruption and 1 point of insanity.
Okay. That could bring me to 4 and 17.
Okay. 17 insanity?
Yeah.
Okay, good. 17 corruption, starting to have problems.
That's my first corruption point.
Yep. Oh,
when does that matter? What number does that matter?
Every 10 matters, basically. So every multiple of 10. I'll double check that on, I think, but I think your pure faith might mean you reduce all corruption gains by 1 to a minimum of 0, but I'll double check that later on. Leave it there for now.
Since his gains would only be 1, it won't matter.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not going to take you to 10 now, so you're not going to be rolling on malignancy tests now.
Okay.
So
pure faith makes me immune to demonic presence.
So. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So probably the people. Well, I'm assuming you kept the crew who are nearby away from this before we opened the door.
We told them to stay back. Remember?
Okay. No worries. Yeah. So.
Listen, we just showed up with the bad bitches. We got Joss. We got Kay. We got the Repentia. We rolled up here like this is a Zoolander movie.
Okay, Cade also takes 1 point. He's immune to corruption, so he just takes 1 point of insanity.
All right, that's normal for him.
Yeah. All right, probably no one else. I don't need to. I won't test for the sisters. They're more of a mob anyway. So, but this woman is not like springing to her feet or anything. She's just watching you, like in the same way like a wolf sizes up, something before either side actually does anything. So I'm going to give you a free do something, say something.
I'm going to turn to Dawn and say capture or kill. It's a question.
Capture.
Okay. I do not immediately begin cutting her down then. I'll have to leave it to Dawn and people who are capable. Like,
yeah, I mean,
I loaded organ grinder rounds. This woman would be dead on the first bullet. The other ones will just be to demolish the body.
The Repenters start looking for the stun button on their eviscerators.
AKA using the pommel.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll tell you what I do, James. I XCOM Overwatch. If this woman looks like she's going to put serious damage on anybody, I want to intercept her with a hail of bullets.
Oh, okay, this is how you get teleported behind.
I'm the one fucking teleporting behind her.
Am I able to make sort of...
So are you going to try and knock her out, or are you sending the sisters in to do that?
I'm going to try and knock her out as well. Yeah.
Okay. No.
Is there like is it like D&D where I just say this is non-lethal?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll allow you to do that. Like you won't roll the regular damage, but effectively, I realize that you are trying to knock her out with the buddy weapon or whatever the case may be.
Okay, I'm moving to cover this fight by staying at a flanking angle then, because when I start shooting, I don't want to have to shoot through Dawn.
All right, give me a weapon skill test, Dawn. I'm going to say you probably can't frenzy and strike non-lethally.
Yeah. Is there like a +10 here that I can do?
No, it's a straight up roll.
Okay.
You can attack. You can still you could do +20, then you can't parry or dodge.
If I do the full action, can I use swift attack?
Yes, you can. Certainly can. So you can attack twice.
Yeah, I'll do that then. This is the first time I'm doing this, so.
Yep.
That's 4.1.
Damn. Yep. Go in the body, and the second. Just roll a second hit roll. Okay. So it's going to be a D10 plus your strength bonus and damage, and you're wearing your armor, aren't you, right now?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's +2 more as well. So it's D10 +8 damage to her from an unarmed attack or from a stunning attack, basically. Okay. No worries. Yep. She actually goes down relatively easily. Like, I mean, she's not a large person. She's probably like age-wise only like a 19-year-old. And yeah, like a solid blow of your the pommel of your sword knocks her unconscious and she collapses to the floor.
Wow, this is incredibly easy. All right, I want to clear the room.
Okay,
I'm looking around for clues and things of significance.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of places to hide in this room because it's pretty much just hammocks in a large open space with like personal belongings on.
Yeah, but I want to make sure I'm Sherlocking, right? We don't know if there was a second person involved because we think that she's not capable of using this tool alone. So I'm looking for, boot marks or a letter that's been left that says your target is the rest of your work crew. Burn this letter after reading.
Give me a +10 search roll.
Skyrim quest triggers. I tell Cade to help me.
All right.
Do I get more?
He can roll.
Okay, that's good. Let's rely on Cade instead of me. Let's rely on Cade instead of me. Damn it, Cade. All right, I'm not upset with Cade. I'm upset with myself for not teaching him better. Then I turn to Joss and say, we think that there was another person here. I don't see any signs. What do you think?
She sort of slides in the room and looks around.
Your job is murdering people and assassinating them. Surely you're good at this.
All right. She turns back your way and says, I can't see any evidence that anyone else was in here. There's plenty of blood on the floor, no other footprints.
All right, we all came to the same conclusion, so it must be correct. Dawn, what do you want to do with her? I think we should put her in containment somewhere, and I'll interrogate her.
That's fine by me.
But it's your
I'm
capture.
perfectly-
I feel like you're kind of a little in charge here.
So, James, do I have any experience with any sort of like weird warp stuff? Does it normally wear off after a time, or like how does it work?
No, I mean she started to mutate. Her tongue has already changed. Like she is irrevocably corrupted by chaos.
Mm-hmm.
There is no coming back from the point this woman is at.
Okay. And in my experience, you know what? I'll ask Nero this question. Actually, it's like, well, she is mutated, as you saw. Is there anything that you can gain by interrogating her?
I have yet to put my practice to the test on a live, unwilling subject. I don't know what I might gain, but I think it's time.
So if I look at her, am I like disgusted?
I'm disgusted. Got a
Yeah.
forked tongue, man.
Okay. So see, this is sort of the part of the character that I find hardest to play. So I'll sort of like Dawn will sort of look down at this girl and just like spit on her, and it's like, do what you want, Nero. She's yours.
I always do. All right. I have Joss and Cade help me dress her up, and
Okay.
we're going to take her to an interrogation chamber. I assume
No
there are
worries.
several convenient ones throughout the ship for just general Imperial use.
It's
Her,
like
her bedroom was actually right next to the mutant interrogation chamber. So
it's like when you go to a shopping mall. There's a sign for like here the toilets are, that sort of stuff. It's like here's where the nearest interrogation room is just down here, next to the baby change room.
they're about as frequent as Starbucks is in American cities. So
Across the food court from the soft pretzels.
On the bridge, Pierre, you get a vox call from your choir master, Stein Bethor.
Sorry,
from him
let a bit
last
of
week.
madness in. My bad.
I'll pick up on the second ring.
Captain, the choir has sensed something unusual in the ship. Like a
an
We just
ego
sensed
inflating.
we just sensed a presence, something not of our world.
Is the presence still there, or is it gone?
It's gone out of sight. Perhaps it is riding somebody. If it was on, so it kind of entered the ship because the Gellerfield has been on this whole time. So unless it came aboard in somebody and it's just jumped from person to person potentially.
Okay, so we're doing the thing now, James. Okay. Just want to make sure I knew where we were at. Which movie specifically? So I checked the dog.
Well, there's only about 1 million people on the ship.
That's why I start with the dog, Dawn. It's time, Aries.
Let me get a conference call set up here.
Okay.
Let me patch in Nero and Dawn, see what their situation is going on.
How many calls? How many second calls does it take?
Yeah, 7 rings for Nero. When you finally get Nero, you can hear him pulling rubber gloves on. He says, "Yes, Lord Captain. Is there something you need?"
Yeah, that sudden snap.
Yup, the snap. Yeah.
He's just in the examination with it, just holding up the phone for him.
The choir master informed me that there's something not of this realm, I believe. Is that right?
That sounds ominous.
Warpy stuff is what I'm imagining.
Yes. Well, that
What-
makes sense given what we're encountering here. This woman appears to be a chaos mutant now. She's got sigils carved into her skin. She's got a forked tongue. Animal intelligence.
he also mentioned that there was the being jumped to another.
Well, that sounds pretty bad.
So I need you to all quarantine for 2 weeks.
You know, we do take quarantine procedure very seriously. Very well. Dawn, you're on the line?
Yeah, I answered on one
All right,
ring.
you and all of your agents will need to quarantine. Cade, Joss as well. Actually, they should probably quarantine together since she's her tutor. She's his tutor.
I think myself and the sisters are capable of repelling any sort of demonic incursion inside of our own personal
yeah,
bodies.
that's true. You actually do that. Don't you, like, emit a field, right? No, we should all be
Yes.
safe, right?
Yes.
All right, so
I may-
Sisters, but maybe not you and Cade.
no, that's very insulting. Why would you say that about Dawn? Her field accepts all of those with the Emperor's blessings. I think we should check the dog.
Isn't the dog a robot?
Yes, but we're the Imperium. All of our robots are biological. Otherwise, it would be heresy. Right? Is that true, James? I'm just making sure because it's my understanding, right?
It has an animal brain in it. Yeah,
exactly.
so-
Yeah, I'm like, look, I seriously think it's the dog, Lord Captain. We should, at the very least, consider checking it. On the other hand, we are immune to demonic incursion here, so you could make us quarantine, but that would mean you don't have faith in Dawn and the God Emperor. Instead, let me suggest that we quarantine this clankin quarters.
Are you suggesting, Nero, that you are going to break quarantine on yourself?
No, I'm suggesting we don't need quarantine because we've been inoculated. We have the vaccine.
Well, you're doing cult in a week as well.
Well, that's this and that are different things. We
I need you
could
to
spend a
quarantine-
week going slowly into Kolth. We'd just be like, all right, look, we can't land on Kolth for 1 week because we're in quarantine. look,
So-
Captain, I'm just saying, Dawn has made all of us immune. Dawn, do you agree that we are immune to the demonic touch while we are under the influence of your godlike presence?
As far as I'm aware, James, they're immune to pinning and fear, right? Only me, myself, and the sisters have any sort of...
I mean, the demonic presence, that's right, yes.
Yeah. So I say, unfortunately, that is not correct.
No, I thought you... Whoa. I thought that was a mechanics thing that you did. You made other people around you immune to that?
No,
It sounds like Nero's
This is
being a
of
little
the-
sus.
No, if I have to go into quarantine, I will. I'm about to interrogate my subject here. But I certainly can set up somewhere nearby for 2 weeks.
Can your subject even talk coherently?
We won't know until I get started, Lord Captain. But sometimes there are things you can learn without language, like vivisection.
Look, James, is there any way for me to know about like the idea of like how these creatures would jump between one another?
It's not really covered by heresy. It's more Forbidden Law, the Warp, or Forbidden Law, demons. This is more something you would either ask your navigators or your astropaths. They would have Forbidden Law Warp.
Lord Captain, without exposing anyone else to these sorts of things, is it possible to bring in on this phone line an expert that might know more about this? Say,
We do have a spare
have-
navigator.
There's a navigator. No, she's currently in the thing. So she...
No, he means
Yes, I
Wolfric.
mean,
Wolfric
Wolfric.
Nostromo.
Oh, I suppose if you don't mind him being in your presence, you could use Wolfric. I don't know if the Master Whispers, not Master Whispers, Choir Master. Apologies. Are you busy at the moment, or can you assist him?
I'm
Maybe
at your service.
you
Lord
may be
Commodore.
able to assist him decently well. Of course, that's up to them whether they want to have Wolfric with them or you.
over the phone would be very fine. What do they call it? Vox? Over the Vox would be fine.
Vox, yes.
Yeah.
If you'll excuse me, Lord Captain, I need to initiate a quarantine for this clan king quarters.
Very well.
All right, Nero hangs up and then immediately initiates quarantine.
Okay.
And then he begins the interrogation by saying something really creepy like, "There's much you can learn through pain."
What been AP's been waiting for this entire time.
Jesus.
Please continue your
I'll-
conversation without me. Yeah.
So I'll ask Wolfric. Wolfric, do you have any understanding of how a creature might change host?
When you say
In the
creature,
warp.
do you mean a demon?
Yes.
I mean, they can ride mortal form either as a possession or simply as a vehicle, and they can choose to abandon that form and take another.
Is there a limited radius to how this works, or can they just willy-nilly take anyone on this ship?
On this ship? You mean now?
Yes.
I mean, if they're already inside the Gellerfield, then they're limited by the range. They're limited by the Gellerfield, but yeah, they move. These things move at the speed of thought through the warp. So,
Is there any way to find this entity? Does he have any modus operandi?
well, I don't know. What can you tell me about? What can you tell me about this entity? I don't know anything about it.
Well, for one, I believe it is related to the god of murder. He left 8 murdered individuals inside of a small room, but that might simply be because there was only 8 beings to murder in the first place. It's neither a conclusive piece of evidence. However, one thing is that the entity carved chaos runes into their body and produced a forked tongue as a mutation, as well as was overcome with cannibalistic urges.
Any chance this is related to the murder room on Fink's World? We just come from there, so
Well, from what I understand about the person in question, they never left the ship.
but others did. Potentially, one of these entities made their way aboard the ship while you were there and simply gave into its more base nature in this most recent event.
I mean,
In
that's
which
entirely
case-
possible. Yes.
It would behoove us to defeat it before reaching our destination, because at least while the Gellerfield is up, we have it somewhat trapped.
Is there a way to make smaller, like pockets of areas that we can hunt this creature in?
It's maybe possible to tune the Gellerfield that way. Dangerous though. Any change to create additional barriers runs a risk of weakening the regular ones.
Lord Captain, are you
If-
still on the line?
Yes.
What say you on this subject?
Seems like we're on a full-on investigation here to figure out where their unwanted guest ended up now.
It would seem to me that if this is the murder room, you simply need to find the room, enter it, and defeat the creature within, if you think that you are strong enough to do so.
Well, we knocked unconscious the first host that this creature had. Would you say that we just simply need to kill the next host?
No, you need to enter the room itself. The entity is attached to the extra dimensional space which they have bought. Although it's still within the ship and within the Gellerfield, the room still exists spatially somewhere within the ship. It's attached to the person that it inhabits.
Out of character here, James. WTF, mate?
So effectively what this guy's saying is it's like the demon itself owns a physical space in the warp that is a room.
Yeah.
That's its
Okay.
lair, basically. Because it's currently trapped in the Gellerfield, that it can't get into the warp, so that room has to manifest physically somewhere in the ship at any point in time. So it's possible that, when it jumped to this crew member, as early as today, it took that room as its lair. And Wolfric also, like, when you sort of talk through what happened, he surmises that potentially Cade's presence drove it away from the room before you could enter. That's why it fled to a different host, because of the presence of a null.
So you brought the null and messed it up.
Interesting, yeah. Wow, I mean, maybe.
Okay. So then I say to the Lord Captain, perhaps you should bring a null at least into the...
We only have one.
All the
We only have
on the
one?
ship, unfortunately.
I see. Well, Cade, your job is to go up to the bridge and stay there.
Yeah, so whoever Cade's with is safe from possession.
Cade and
the
Joss are quarantining together.
Oh, this is how suddenly.
So it wasn't Dawn who made you safe from possession. It was Kate.
Good enough for me. Wait, now that we know this, we can de-quarantine everyone that was there around. Yeah, all right.
Yes.
Okay, I mean-
So you all are good. Everybody else that is in that sector is not good.
Well, yeah, well, now they're locked in here with us.
Yeah.
Now we're just going to send Cade on a spiral path. Wait for this thing to come out of somebody. It's blast him.
I believe, Lord Captain, what Wolfric is saying is that we need to go down to that room without Cade, defeat the entity within, and cleanse the area.
Yes. Isn't there 2 rooms now? One originally.
So the room itself is like an extra dimension. So have you ever seen the film or the show The Lost Door or the Lost Room? It's effectively like when you open the door to the murder room, you're not entering the space that's beyond that door. You're entering a different extra dimensional space.
Oh, okay.
It's like the room of requirement from
Yeah,
Harry Potter, but just murdery.
Okay.
So it's just like the room of requirement, since they trained an army in there,
Yeah, sure.
and several people in that army killed people.
Yeah.
Didn't they
Several-
blow open the walls to get into that room at some point?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we see Nero interrogating this girl who's currently shouting "Expecto Patronum."
Or whatever the spell is to remove poopy from their pants. God damn it, that fucking...
JK
go,
Rowling is a
That
fucking
fucked
idiot.
me up. That fucked me up as well.
Oh my
He's
god.
so goddamn stupid. I thought it was bad when she explained the economy, but the fact that they just pissed themselves all day long.
And then apparated away.
Where did they apparate it to? That's the
Somewhere.
thing. There must be a huge storehouse of wizard poop.
Oh Jesus!
This is the poop Merlin took in 515 AD. On December the 22nd, we cataloged it.
We're breaking show rules. Bring it back. Bring it back.
I'll go prepare for.
Does anyone tell Nero at any point that not only are we safe, but we aren't in quarantine?
I mean, you
No,
removed yourself
okay.
from the group chat, so, you know.
Yes, because I'm busy initiating a goddamn quarantine. Someone has to do it.
Yeah, well, the quarantine you're initiating is the right quarantine. It's just you're not under quarantine.
Yes,
because
but
Cade was
Nero
there.
needs to know that so he can leave the room that he's in, which is about to be filled with a lot of viscera for the next 2 weeks.
Right, these demons aren't stupid. If there's some creature it can take control of that would further its goals, it will do so.
Okay. All right.
The
So...
dog. I'm telling you,
The
it's the
dog will be
dog.
safe because he
The
was
dog's
also
safe
with
because
the
Cade
null.
was there.
It'll be there. I'm telling you. In the end, listen. If we get to the end of this, it's the fucking dog. You know I'm gonna load it over your heads for the rest of the year.
If anything, this would be
Hey,
the point where
and I'm not
Damon takes control of either Adrian or myself.
saying it's not the dog. I'm just saying it wasn't the dog that time.
We should start with a dog, though, right? Like that's just it's traditional movie horror. We got to start with the dog. All right, Nero re-enters the call at some point because.
Yeah. Like we re-add you.
So, Nero, while you've been with this girl, so first off,
Oh, I haven't
it's like-
started the interrogation yet. It's gonna get weird though. Like really
Okay,
bloody.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's happened? You tell me.
We believe that
Did we lose James?
No, can you hear me?
No.
I'm here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You said you were going to say something to me.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, because I was going to talk to you about what happened to the girl, but you said you weren't interrogating her yet, so that's fine.
Oh, yeah. No, I'll get to that. Don't worry. All right.
No worries.
All right. What's happened while I've been gone? I initiated a quarantine.
well, you're not under quarantine because
That's good.
Cade, being around Cade would keep you safe from demonic possession. But we
Right.
also believe that now the room that you entered is the home or host of this creature. And that Cade being there drove it away before you could enter and destroy it.
You're talking about the murder room.
Yes, correct, from Thanks World.
Yeah, that's a myth.
Out of
No,
everything
I'm
you
just
say
kidding.
back-
Why
Nero-
did you quarantine me
Yeah.
for 2 weeks?
No, I know. That was out of character.
Why did you knock me out?
You sucker punched me.
Nero.
son of a
Okay,
bitch.
so Nero says the murder room, my old nemesis. I did my best not to engage in combat with it, but it has joined us. It must wish to fight me, is the conclusion he draws and says out loud. Very well. We should keep Cade near our core team at all times.
Right up until we go destroy the murder room.
I mean, look, here's how I see it, right? We section off the quarantined area, then we go section by section, clear people by passing them near Cade, killing whoever is necessary. Then we make like a safe room area where all of the quarantine safe people are. And so we get to a point where there's literally nowhere for it to go, and we just use Cade to lock it into a corner and we kill it.
How about
It's
this?
capable
I don't know
of
that Cade
moving.
works like that.
Yes,
It's
but
capable
your
of moving.
your version involves sacrificing people. My
Nero-
version involves at least trying to corner it and then murder it in its real form.
Nero, the being can physically move to any point of the ship at a thought.
It can jump between people at will.
Oh,
You were only
shit,
safe
wow.
because Cade was standing right next to you.
Well, then any one of you could be the demon right now.
So what I propose
Okay.
is that we all gather up with Cade
Yes.
to make sure that none of us is possessed.
Right?
And then we go into the murder room, destroy
Without
this thing.
Cade,
Yes, without Cade, destroy this thing, come back out, and Cade's right there, and then we double check we're all not possessed, and then
But
we
you got to find the murder room first. Like the murder room is moved when the creature moved.
correct. So we have to wait for the next murder, basically.
Yeah, so keeping in mind that one of the things you did here before you turned up, people could hear strange stuff coming from that room.
Yes. All right. Thank you, random person who added that on this call. You know, you never know who's on these calls.
Wolfric. That was Wolfric.
Oh, Wolfric. Fantastic. All right. So, Captain, obviously, I'm about to enter a room, and there's going to be strange stuff going on inside of it. I think that you and the rest of the crew should look for a room where strange shit's happening. And then we'll all gather up there. I'm going to find out what this thing knows about the murder room and the creature that inhabited it.
So, Arthur,
Yes.
based upon your suggestion of trying to effectively use Cade to corral,
Yes.
even though it can move fast, what I would allow you to do is make a Scholastic Lore Tactica Imperialis roll to try and create, a favorable path for this thing to try and predict its maneuvers.
Scholastic Lore Tactica Imperialis is the thing
Plus 10.
that I am almost decent at. No, I'm going to re-roll that because I am sure that my 40 skill will win the day.
You got the plus 10, yeah?
Yep. Yeah.
famous
Well,
last
listen.
words.
I'm just looking at a chart of the ship, and I'm just like, Cade can't be everywhere. All right, this is not going to work. Lord Captain, I've literally spent way more time than I should have looking at this map. Well, you know what we could use is more Cade. He's just so useful, even if it is annoying to have him around.
Yes, unfortunately, they're all in the other ship.
Well, hey, you should call the other ship and make sure they don't have any, murder room problems.
We do that in the warp? I don't know.
I don't know.
think that's
That
a
would
thing that we can
require
do.
us taking out our Gellerfield.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
well, let's
so,
not do
so,
that.
so effectively, the ships themselves are physically flying through the warp and physically following one another.
Yep.
So the way that means is you can actually use conventional Vox to communicate with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, you can even take a risk. Like it's been situations where people have like flown a flyer from one ship to another in the warp and just taken the chance of flying outside the Gellerfield for that relatively short period of time.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, but likewise, you can bring ships very close together so the Gellerfields overlap to move people between ships, but it's all complicated.
The stars without
and-
numbers manta ray maneuver, yes.
Yeah, but according to the Auspex officer, the Telepraetorian is not currently in Vox range. You've actually gotten so because you did such a good role in navigation, you actually pulled ahead of it somewhat. So it's trailing you. It's trailing you a bit.
Whoops.
All right.
So we're on our own.
All right, well, I'll go up with Cade as soon as I'm done here, unless you all want to come to me.
Keep paid with you.
You know, we'll just assume that anyone that doesn't show up is the murder room. So make sure you show up in a timely fashion. If you'll excuse me, I have some full season of planning to do things to do. He says really creepily as he hangs up the phone.
That
There were
I'd
some
like
people
to
that were
know-
like, Arthur, why did you talk about final solutions with Nero? And I'm like, Nero is literally a fucking stormtrooper. He's the murder arm of a fascist, xenocentric murder government that worships a dead guy. Like, Nero's not a good person.
After Dark Heresy First Edition came out, somebody released a Photoshop of the front cover of the book renamed to Catholic Space Nazis.
Yeah, I mean, Nero works for the Inquisition now. There's no way he's a hero. He's just a protagonist. All right, so what happens next?
So I would like to know. So what you're dealing with here basically is a person who is tied down, snapping, biting at the air, getting very little, nothing more intelligent than there is no Dana, only Zul out of her mouth, and who appears to be inured to pain. So how would you like to proceed with her?
I'm going to talk quietly to her in the same way you would talk to an animal. And just say, I know you think that we can't communicate, but you and I speak a language of violence. And you pretend like you can't feel pain, but everything can feel pain in some way, whether it's emotional or mental or physical. This will hurt a lot, and you'll die at the end of it, but maybe you'll be saved in the eyes of the Emperor, but you'll be dead. If you have any hope in your heart of forgiveness, do whatever you can to communicate with me the correct answers. Tell me about the murder room, where it's most vulnerable, what it will take to defeat it, what you know of it. Communicate with me with the pain, because this is something we're going to experience together. It's my first time, so I'll be recording this for posterity. Be honest in your answers.
And full on inquisitor.
10 years of your life.
Yeah, I mean, Nero is just going to use everything out of the interrogator's handbook he's been reading to just,
No worries.
get the correct answers.
You definitely need to add an excruciator to your equipment list at some point. So give me a +10 interrogation roll. Let's see how well this goes.
We will see how well it goes. Listen, I'll probably have to use a destiny point given how the rolls are going, but whatever it takes.
This is based off your willpower, isn't it?
Yes, well, my interrogate is 50 to begin with. I invested heavily in fucking son of a bitch. I have interrogate +10, and I went down the Inquisition line just to get this shit. There we go, 2.8 degrees of success.
So I will
Maybe
give
he's
you
a little
2
hesitant the first time, and then he's like, no, I have to say, like, he's got like a sword stuck in her elbow, and his hand is just quivers on it for a moment. He goes, no, I have to do this for your own good. Ah!
So either through a combination of reaching out to her fractured actual psyche or somehow getting, tricking information out of the demon psyche, you're able to determine two pieces of information. I would like to know what questions you would like answered. You get two clear questions before she expires from your administrations.
What is the weakness of the thing that inhabited her, the murder room?
All right, and what's the other question?
That's a good question. Shit, I'll have to think about that one. I'll take audience participation from both live on the call and from home. Listen, YouTube, if you want to send messages back in time, feel free to put them in the comments section right now. And while you're there, might as well hit the subscribe button and click the bell to get the notifications.
You didn't think of any questions to ask this thing as you've been building up to interrogate this thing the entire time?
My first question was gonna be, what is its weakness? And then bounce from there, assuming I succeeded. I feel like that first question is pretty important.
I mean, it's good, but you what would be your second question?
Right now, I'm leveraging towards what signs it has or how I can track it and how I can find it.
Yeah, that would be the ideal.
Maybe like
question.
how can I protect against it or something like that, but I already know the answer to that.
How can we track it?
How to banish it, maybe.
Where did it? Like,
don't
what
worry.
about
if
where
I had
did
a
it
heavy
come
bolter
from?
to hold up to the screen, I could tell you how to banish it.
Sure.
Okay, so here's what I'll give you. So
Okay.
First off, this demon of Khorne, who you managed to pry the name, is Strizgeth Fleshflayer. It's actually living under a cloud of fear, as best demons of Khorne actually can live under a cloud of fear. It's not really conscious of how ships work or how space travel works or how it has been cut off from the warp.
It's stuck up
right
here.
now.
It's stuck in here with us.
And it thanks, Eric. It fears for the fact that if it dies here, it may not be able to return to the warp as demons do when they're normally destroyed. So it has been trying to maintain a low profile, just ride people, not cause murder rampages until something happens. It's managed to glean enough from the crew's mental states that eventually this time will pass. It can return to the warp. However, its nature is still base. It is still a bestial creature, and so there was an overflow after an argument in the
it got emotional.
Yeah, which then led to it taking over this girl and empowering her at such strength as to kill her people and then try to return to the room to hide. So it would defend itself, certainly. At the end of the day, once again, entering the murder room is dangerous for most people because that's how it can corrupt you when you're in the murder room. But by the same token, it's also vulnerable in the murder room. It exists bodily within the murder room and can therefore be destroyed through regular means that you would use to destroy a materialized demon. It is sussed out now the concept that the ship's ability to avoid the warp is by some sort of mechanical device called a Gellerfield, and it is trying to find, it's not like a demon as each where it can really corrupt people. It's trying to sort of find somebody it can create a violent state with that will potentially damage that and allow it to return to the warp sooner, potentially even feeding the warp all the souls of the people on board this ship in the process. So it's likely to try and find a host near the Gellerfield and trigger some sort of violent reaction there, which means it will need to find a room somewhere near the Gellerfield to establish the murder room.
Yes. All right, I execute its unwilling host.
Yeah.
What's her name? Gabriella.
Yeah, Gabrielle. Yeah.
I spend a moment praying with Gabrielle, our site, before I execute her, praying that the God Emperor will cleanse her as she passes on to the Sea of Souls, and then I murder her.
Okay.
All right, I call everybody, and I'm just like, all right, I know the name of the daemon. I have special anti-daemon ammunition, and I believe I know its location, so I'm gonna grab Cade, meet me near the Geller Field. If you don't show up, we'll just assume that you're the daemon.
Weren't we not supposed to use Cade because it would drive?
You're not supposed to use Cade.
No,
Well, but
we all
we need
have to
to
go near Cade to ensure that none of us are.
correct.
Okay.
Yes, we have to meet up near the Geller Field with Cade, and then we go as a hunting party.
Yeah, I mean his personal aura is only like 30 feet, so
Yes,
it's not
exactly.
not like he covers whole areas of the ship.
Right, okay.
All right, so I bring Cade and I bring Joss, and I just tell Joss to protect Cade while we're gone.
Yep.
And I look at her, see how she's holding up with all this, because this is some weird stuff.
Yeah, she seems to be remarkably
Nonplussed
blasé about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that will happen when you're some sort of mind wiped, brainwashed, murdered Chucky.
Courtier assassin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she recognizes that she's out of her depth, so she's not, just hardcore. If it bleeds, we can kill it. She's just, not clearly scared or whatever.
All right. Nero
I think,
is loading the sacred blessed bolts rounds.
Yeah, Adrian shows up like in full power armor, melt-a-gun, 2 swords, bolt pistol.
That's appropriate. You brought a reasonable amount of equipment.
I agree.
Okay. So I would like all 4 of you to give me +10 search rolls.
As we search our feelings for the truth? Or...
That's right, yeah.
I'm actually decent at these.
I'm not quite as good at search. I don't have any
Nope, minus.
any points in it.
Given that we're about to go fight a demon, I'll hold on to my points instead of re-rolling.
I think you used
Yeah, I'm rolling at a 20 on it, so yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Whereas everybody else tooling about in their param is making these loud clomping sounds, Pierre manages to just pick up that hint of the strange noises coming from one of the storerooms in the Gellerfield chamber.
Well, that's not good. All right, Cade, wait here.
He's already waiting outside the whole chamber anyway. So.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, is it bad if Cade comes into the Gellerfield room?
Yes.
Okay, Cade, don't go into the Gellerfield room. The reason why is, and I turn to the GM to explain why.
Well, because if he gets too close, the team will have to flee anyway. You'll lose track of it.
Oh, well, I was just asking about the Gellerfield in particular.
No. There's no
Right.
impact on the Gellerfield.
All right, Cade, it's okay for you to go into the Gellerfield when I'm not around. But don't go into the murder room. We need to kill what's in it first.
Ready?
Ready.
Who's going in first?
Pierre starts
Probably.
opening the door.
Oh my god, that's literally the one person in the party who shouldn't go in first.
Yeah, I think when Nero asks that, Adrian just looks at Don and just totally misses the fact that Pierre's going for the door.
You guys are taking too long. Let's get this over with.
Okay, so Pierre pushes the button. The door opens up, and you get a sort of sudden feeling of your pit falling out of your stomach, as such as there's like an otherworldly sense where you're not looking into a storeroom, you're looking into like an abattoir. Brass and iron hooks hang from the ceiling, from which hang half butchered carcasses of humans and other things. The floor itself is covered in offal. It's just smeared black and red blood and pieces of viscera. The walls itself are covered in, once again, a blood spray of just chunks of flesh which have been carved away. And at the far end of the chamber, almost not so much cowering, but simply, pushed back by some sense of fear, is a red-skinned demonic creature. Its legs twisted back in a dog-like format, and it has an almost canine or something between a canine and bovine style head with horns and a toothy maw. In one hand, it has like a carving cleaver, much too large for a regular butcher to use, and the other hand, it has a twisted blade with barbed edges. The blood and gore drips from both weapons as well. It looks like it does appear ready to fight you, because obviously it has nowhere else to go. But the room itself doesn't extend. That has no other clear exits other than where you come in through.
Sorry, is this thing like a bloodthirster or something different?
It's a bloodletter. I thought bloodthirster first, and I realized I've got 192 wounds. No, this is a blood.
Well,
letter.
we get there. Listen, I don't know. We get there eventually. If Adrian and Dawn sacrifice themselves, I'll get there eventually.
Pretty sure it'd take us all out before you get there.
That's fine. I'll just ask Cade to step towards me. All right.
So I was thinking about bloodletter, but I was like,
I meant the smaller demon, but I typed in bloodthirster when I was like looking up the stats for it in the book. I was like, that's much too big.
I don't remember. It was like bloodletter, blood crusher.
Blood crushers, yeah.
There's like a step between Daemon Prince and then bloodletter. I just don't remember what it is.
Yeah. The good thing about bloodletter is they get the wrangling skill because they can ride beasts of corn. So that's a skill none of you have, do you?
I don't need wrangling. I have drive.
Challenges you to a ride-off.
I show up with my command chimera and flatten his fucking beast. Just roll over it, and then I go backwards over it a few times.
All right, so we're gonna have initiative here. Sure. Its distance from you is 20 feet.
Mm-hmm. I assume you mean 20 meters.
No, 20 feet. So it'd be like sorry, I'm doing it for your benefit. Let's say it's like 12 meters.
Okay. That's nowhere close to 20 feet, but I'll accept that.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna spend a 10 to win initiative and have a 15.
Okay.
To win initiative.
Yeah.
Plus agility, right?
Yep. Yeah. So it's agility bonus. Yeah. To count as something, roll a 10.
Yep.
I'm standing in the doorway, aren't I?
Yep.
Excellent.
Right, I can walk past you. You're small and tiny. I have bulging biceps.
Not that tiny.
I have bulging biceps.
I don't know what kind of flex.
Listen, man, I do 1,000 squats a day, bitch.
Okay, so
Slide past your skimpy form.
So Pierre, what have you got?
9.
No.
Or 8. I'm sorry, 8.
8. Okay. Nero's 15. Adrian is 15 as well. And Dawn is 8. All right, so I'm just going to sort that. All right, so starting off with, let's start with Nero. I know
No. Please, Adrian, go first.
Okay.
He actually rolled to get his, so.
I think Adrian, well, but you spent your fate point, but so Adrian basically like flanks to the right, like steps into the room, shifts off the right and tries to shoot a melta gun at this thing.
Okay, no worries.
And I'll take a half action to aim for a +10.
Yep.
Nice.
4 degrees. All right. It will not try to dodge that one.
Okay.
Doesn't moving take a half action?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, is moving a half action?
Yeah.
Okay, so it'd be 3 and 3.5 degrees of success.
Okay, well, I will try and dodge that one then.
Okay.
That's
No. Okay, you hit it. You hit it in the 42. You got it in the body.
Oh, so I'm sorry. That was my bolt pistol, not my.
Yeah.
That's
so
better.
that's a pretty dinky.
Yeah, pretty dinky melta gun.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, you seem to have heard it. It is not slain by that, but it's certainly not looking like any melter shot is going to cause anyone some real problems.
Mm-hmm.
So it recoils in anger at the attack.
What is a melter?
It fires concentrated microwaves that effectively heat up the air between you and it.
It's like a maser, right?
Yeah, like a maser. Yeah.
Just like a microwave gun?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking it was like a slug gun or something like that shoots like a big old superheated like clump of orange juice concentrate or something like that.
No, in the games, it's represented as like a blue line of energy between the gun and the target, but effectively it's microwave. It works on microwave technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in the Space Marine game, it's like a shotgun almost. It's weird.
That's dumb.
It was weird in the Battle Sister game. It was more like it went off like a sort of shotgun instead. Yeah,
It's not how
and it was
microwaves work.
it's fucking inaccurate as well. All right, Nero.
All right, so Nero is going to... Adrian went right, so Nero's going to go left. He's basically going to turn in, clear the corner of the room he's going into, then turn that into his point of domination as he, moves, gets to the corner, make sure that no one else is going to get in his line of fire, and then just blaze with the heavy bolter and his shoulder-mounted hellgun.
Yep.
Okay, so as I mentioned, I put the blessed bolts into the bolter.
Yep.
So these will be holy rounds. I get plus 10 for my Arch-Militant, and then plus 20 for full auto.
Yes.
I just want to make sure I got all that there. So plus 30. I don't get to aim because I... Yep, 8.3 degrees of success.
Okay, so we'll try to dodge to reduce that.
Yep, that's wise. Wait, didn't it already dodge?
It has combat reflexes, so I can dodge more than it can dodge 4 times.
Bitch.
But it's irrelevant because it failed.
Okay.
So this might be pretty bad for it.
Yeah,
Going to have
9 times.
Yep.
With blessed bolts.
Might be pretty bad for it. Getting hit with literal bane.
I Emperor's Fury on the first hit.
The first one on the 16.
The 16, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I mean, I got to work out because it's only got 4. It's only got 4 armor against blessed bolts, so I'm pretty sure that'll be enough to. Yeah.
Enters the room and goes brrrr.
It dies on the third one. On the third bolt is where it actually is destroyed.
So as it dies, he immediately ejects the ammo canister, waits for it to get cold, and then stuffs it back in his ammo pack because it's way too precious to waste bolts here.
Yeah.
Like it's surgical. As soon as the thing dies, you. Okay.
One of your bolts hit the wall. I don't know how you're going to account for that to the sisters. You fired 10 shots at night.
Wow. All right. So
so the scene around you sort of like it's like the snap in Avengers. Like everything sort of turns to like ash and floats away on the wind. And it's weird because the room itself was much smaller before it was inhabited by the murder room. So there's a strange change in perception as the room around you sort of shrinks. There's no danger to you at all, but everything just sort of the whole image of it drifts away like dust on the wind.
Yeah, like I'm 10 feet closer to Adrian than I was before.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yeah.
All right. I'm just going to quietly lean over the body and say, Strithgeth Flesh Flare, your fear is what killed you. I deny you 3 times in the name of the God Emperor. Then I'm going to put the heavy boulder on my shoulder and just be like, all right, Don, do whatever you need to. Seems like we're done here.
The body also vaporizes, so it turns to ash on the wind.
Yep.
So he says it to where the corpse would be.
Yeah. I deny it, and now it is not here.
This is why I just pressed the door open, because I knew this would happen immediately.
No, I appreciate your level of confidence, Lord Captain. By solving the problem of the murder room, I think that's been haunting, the Calixis sector for, like 30 years, so this is a pretty big deal.
No,
I highly doubt that solves it for the whole
Then
thing.
it was just the last several months on Finks World that was going, or maybe years.
I mean, Finks World had its problem, but I thought the murder room was quite old. Or am I wrong about that?
Yeah, but it's a concerted effort by multiple demons. You just call
one. I don't know that. I believe I have.
We go. Yes, we have solved this problem.
That's right. This wasn't meant to be a tough encounter. This was a random roll on the warp travel table.
I'm going to report back to my Inquisitor privately that that it followed us back, that I believe we've solved the Finks World problem, and that the murder room is dead.
They can 100% just lift that blockade. No problems. We've done it. Problem solved.
I mean, I'm just informing him of the things that, as far as we know, best. It's up to him to make the calls from there.
Sure.
So I go out to write that letter immediately. I'm super happy with myself. I got to interrogate somebody. I killed a daemon permanently, as far as I know. I solved the mystery of the murder room. I stopped the murders happening on Finks World. Like, as far as I'm concerned, this is one of the greatest days of my entire life.
Okay. So the problems on the ship seem to have stopped from that. Things seem to return to normal for your eventual arrival at your destination of Kolth. Presumably, once everybody's on the bridge waiting for that to happen, as soon as the ship translates back, a klaxon sound that you all recognize as like a proximity alert klaxon, although it's not one that would imply that you're about to crash into another ship or a planet. It's more just like you're in debris, and it may cause turbulence or everyone brace basically is what the klaxon means.
Yep.
And you certainly do hear like this clanking sound of like multiple small objects rebounding off the parts of the hull that are sort of hearable from the bridge.
Okay, I order the macro cannons to be run out immediately.
Okay,
Adrian, drive the ship better. For the God Emperor's sake.
Presumably they already do that already before you were launching, coming out of warp anyway. But the view field opens up, and you can see the system of Kolth. You can see the planet in the distance and the sun. But there is also a whole bunch of debris of you can see at least 3 floating Imperial hulks. One ship which looks just like a conglomeration of junk that at least Nero and Adrian recognize as a hulked orc ship.
Is it a Corsair?
And then
Is it a Corsair, like a pirate ship, or is it just like a regular...
No, it's just like a regular orc ship, like an orc ramming...
Orcs.
An orc ramming ship of some type.
Orcs.
And yeah, with the amount of debris, it's clear that at least 1 or maybe 2 other ships suffered catastrophic warp or plasma drive explosions, enough to sort of scatter out their pieces in a large debris cloud. It's obviously all happened near the zenith point where ships translate out of warp. But everything, space here is cold. There's no signs on the sensors that this battle was recent. It's just it's a long-term debris field. Adrian, could you please give me a awareness test plus the ship's detection?
Sure.
Adrian crashes into the sun. He didn't see it coming, despite it being a million times larger than the ship.
Gravitation pulls is a bitch, man. That's not good.
You okay with that?
You okay with that?
No, I don't think so. I think I'm going to spend because I haven't spent any fate points yet this session, so I'm gonna spend one to because this should be a pretty good roll with a plus 25, but
He rolls a 100.
there we go.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
So you appear to be the only ship on sensors, but when you sort of tool with the Auspex a bit, you can pick up there is something else that could be a vessel at the far end of the system, way outside the orbit of the sun, like something out near the Oort cloud on the far end of the system is very large, ship-sized.
Okay.
It's not transmitting Imperial signals, so you're pretty sure it's whatever it is, not Imperial.
Yeah.
But you're picking up power and that sort of stuff. So
We've got a contact at the far end of the solar system, non-Imperial.
It's probably ships of the Severan Dominant.
they would have Imperial ships.
Oh, it's probably orcs.
That would be my guess as well.
Filthy Xenos greenskin orcs. Good for nothing pieces of garbage.
Can I get everybody, please, to give me an awareness test at -10?
There's an orc on the bridge right now.
This is without the ship's detection.
Is he painted purple? I'll re-roll that because I might as well.
Is it painted purple?
No.
You said awareness at -10?
-10, yep.
Okay.
I'll
great.
re-roll as well.
I'm just fucking...
No.
The
Okay,
audience
Adrian...
said the orc cloud or the orc cloud. So good.
I had a 50-50 chance and I still shit the bed. So twice.
Adrian, looking out of the debris field, you can actually spot some debris from a ship which is neither orc nor Imperial. You've never encountered this tech before, so I'm going to say that you don't recognize what this is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of broken stuff out here.
Yeah.
Yes, there are some pieces of ships that I've never seen before.
Really?
I don't recognize their make.
Oh.
No, like point up, just left of the prow of that old sword destroyer class.
Yeah,
Right.
this is how you assist on a awareness test.
Nero goes,
yeah.
magnify. Zoom in that and enhance that quadrant.
Zoom and enhance.
Not a thing.
James is going to be like, that's not how it works. They're like, all right, magnify with the guns.
So there is some sort of debris from the destruction of some form of Xenos vessel there.
Yeah.
Can
for
I
those,
maybe see if I can guess? Because I do have Forbidden Lore Xenos.
then you can roll this at +10.
What about us Inquisition having motherfuckers here?
Can I
Specifically one trained by a Xenos Inquisitor.
I would take a logic test at -10.
Damn it. All right.
Can I add my contemplate to it?
Sure.
All right, I have a 5% chance.
I'll reroll
I rolled a 1, James. I rolled a fucking 1. I want that shit respected. This
I
is the
believe in
pinnacle
you,
of his whole life.
Right. So for Dawn, you feel this looks like images that you've seen of Eldar technology. For you, Nero, you realize there are little telltale signs that strike as a bit different, and this must be what Dark Eldar ships look like.
I
They're
go fucking Dark Eldar Corsair scum
highly
ass,
derivative, but much spikier.
pirate ass bitch scum Xenos, worthless garbage ships. It would appear that the Dark Eldar are here, sir. Filthy Corsair trash.
Active?
No, unless Adrian is looking at that wrong, it certainly seems to have exploded.
Yes, this battle around this point occurred long ago.
Interesting.
There's no reactors, signatures, or anything like that.
Slavers and other useless forms of entertainment. They kill for pleasure. They're like Eldar, but somehow worse, which is really tough. I mean, you have to work for that one.
I think like Pierre's ignoring Nero and his tirades. Perhaps we should
He has hatred pirates, man. Literally, his whole life is built around hating these people.
He's been Nero's been on tirades for like almost the whole trip, it feels like.
Yeah, but he's been right the whole time.
So, Adrian, you can
time.
determine that whatever this other ship is in the Orc cloud has not detected you.
Okay.
So the question is going to be, and this is going to be the final question because Dave is crashing hard. We need to finish up shortly. But what is your plan? That you've got to obviously make your way towards the planet to draw off the tide of iron. This ship is in the far edge of the system and has not yet detected you. Are you going to come at me, bro, it, or are you going to try and sneak your way past?
We can concealment ourselves. We have that skill.
Yeah.
What are your orders, Lord Commodore?
We attempt to sneak our hulking frame.
Yeah, I'll point out, by the way, as well, the Eternal Praetorian has not yet arrived.
Yeah, because they were a little bit behind us, right?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Here's my suggestion. We could, use physics to have this battle stuff, battle debris around us, start heading towards that ship. They'd think nothing of it, maybe like a meteor or something, and we'd ride behind it, using it as a sensor blind.
Let's drop off our cargo first before
That will
attempt
be
any
extremely
source of-
obvious. They will notice us doing that.
Once we fire up our plasma drives, it's going to be difficult to conceal the ship. Not impossible, but difficult.
I honestly think dropping off the Tide of Iron is our greater priority. But if you want to do this stealth thing, I've been talking to Adrian for a while. I think we can make it work.
That's what I've been saying. We try to sneak as much as possible to drop off the Tide Iron. Then deal with the ship later.
They will almost certainly notice us, and I turn to Adrian to confirm that.
Probably.
There's also the question that you are within Vox range of the planet too.
Oh yeah, we should do that. We should
If we vox,
Prepare a
them,
vox for next episode.
they'll know. 'Cause
That's
don't-
less obvious than firing up the engines for sure.
that's not how radio waves work, but okay.
I mean, it depends. It's orcs. Like orcs aren't looking for radio communications, for example, necessarily. But you know about orcs to know that like you probably got there's probably a better chance they're looking for engine signatures than they're looking for vox traffic.
Okay.
Mhm.
I mean,
Either
alternatively,
way-
you could use the choir to try and reach it, but you haven't had any choir communications from this planet yet. So
Either way, I'm confident that I'll be able to outfly them whichever route we take.
I like your confidence. You know what, Lord Captain? Let's take a week to decide.
That's what I'm saying. Wait till next week.
Yeah, that'll make it harder on the Game Master, but yeah, let's do that.
yeah, plan for all eventualities.
No, but seriously, we should probably make the decision now.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I mean, I can. I planned
right.
for this weeks
All
ago.
right,
or a
tell
week
us what
ago.
XP we get.
It is 300 XP.
Excellent.
let's start with
Just
your outro.
enough for me to buy Hotshot.
I'm going to spend 600 to get the Inquisitor thing.
So the entire ship's going to be filled with
Agents of the
PCs who are
Inquisition. Yeah.
Now we actually are Inquisitors, or you are, so they weren't wrong.
So it'll be 3 Inquisitors and one
Just Adrian.
one unnecessary and one person who's a missionary. Like that's what it will be. Like
You could become an Inquisitor too. We could all just not tell Adrian.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, we're doing rogue trader stuff, right, guys?
Yes, of course, Adrian, putting my hands down on his shoulder from behind, from inside of a deeply hooded cloak. Yes, Adrian, just rogue trader stuff. Don't ask any questions about the cargo in the back. The
I'm doing it out of sheer
torpedo-shaped
convenience
cargo.
of. I was like, oh wow, that actually made that.
They have good
whole-
skills, yeah.
It's not really the skills. I think.
Oh,
I have
you want the
most of
convenience
skills.
of the I'm an Inquisitor.
I mean, I have the convenience already. It's the fact that now I can back it up instead of being like, yes, sure, yes, that's me. Now it's just yes.
Can't wait to see how this works out.
You'll never know.
I fully expected that, like that first bit with the demon would be like, the first half an hour of the game, and I didn't get to get my orc on at all today. I'm gonna have to wait another week to get my orc on.
My bad.
I'm very sorry. I'm
No, it's fine. It's not a go at you, don't. I was just saying that. I have a hard time sometimes working out how much I should plan or not plan for this group, but that's all right. I don't mind over planning because it means I never end up having to make stuff on the spot.
All right, I'm now skilled at using the missile launcher I've been carrying for half a season.
You weren't skilled in it?
I didn't need to be beforehand because with bulging biceps, I can use it regardless of whether I'm skilled into it or not. But now I actually have the skill. So
I am also now a hotshot pilot.
perfect. What does that get you?
So all of my
Just barrel roll.
all of my piloting skills that I have points in now are I want to say 10 higher, or it might just be the one. So I get a plus 10 to all my piloting skills I already possess and treat all other piloting skills as basic skills. So I now have a 90 in pilot spacecraft and pilot flyers.
Oh, so it's essentially my renowned warrant, but for your piloting stuff.
Yep.
Just a good base plus 10. That I still somehow roll a 99 or 100 on.
Perfect. Dave, did we do your outro yet?
No, hey everyone. My name is Dave. You can find my cool games for cool people over at Kinky Fridays. We've got one game available right now on Steam that you can purchase called Piece of My Heart. It's a jigsaw dating sim game, and we have 2 games in production right now, which you can play the prologues of. One is called Sapphire Safari, which is a on-rails photography game that focuses on furries and monster girls. And the second one is called Eluder, which is a top-down bullet hell twin stick roguelike game. And you can get both of those by joining Patreon and stuff.
That's the Kinky Fridays Patreon?
Yeah. And Sapphire Safaris on Steam right now, so go wishlist that. That's very, very popular, apparently. We were getting about 150 to 200 wishlists a day, which is exceedingly good. So, yeah. Join my big community. It's getting bigger every day.
Is the community as big as your huge balls yet, or not quite there?
Never.
Okay.
Never get to that
sure.
size.
Yeah. Just want to be clear.
I think they increase in size at a commensurate rate.
Yeah. They're heavy. They're heavy with anticipation.
All right. Well, let's segue over to Pondo.
You're muted, Pondo.
I am indeed muted. You're correct. I am Ponder the Man. You can find me here Saturday nights with this, or well, I was also a part of the Slayer's Nights, and I don't have much else going on because I've been distracted with Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I looked at your achievements. You got like 15 or 20 on Thursday. It was crazy.
I think a lot of that was from just I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine. Commit.
I need to take a step back, so I need to not commit as much. But yeah, no, I don't have much going on at the moment, so that is me for now. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do about the Inquisition stuff to make it work.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of people who are in the Inquisition, let's talk to Big Spoon.
Yes. The Inquisition. No, I'm Big Spoon. You can find me over at Twitter at BigSpoon223 or on Arthur's Discord. I'm here on Saturday nights playing the best pilot in the universe.
We'll finally see that, maybe?
Maybe.
You talk a mad game, but when you roll a 100...
I'm hyping myself up for sure, and I will definitely 100% roll that 100 right when we need like, you know, to slip between two chaos.
This is it, Adrian. This is the only thing we ask you to do. So pilot the ship, and you've somehow managed to get double parked.
Yeah. Oh God, they put a lock on our wheels.
I mean, I need to let you know as well, Arthur. You just rolled a 1 on a 5% chance. Like, you've peaked in this game system.
Yeah.
You've peaked.
Oh, my logic.
It's all downhill from here.
Yeah, you're done. Nero,
I told you this is one of the best days of Nero's life.
So yeah, I'm also on the Solaris Knights playtest. And that's
Seth Ghost Bear.
Yeah,
Old
man.
Kersey, they call him.
Yeah, which I was so glad everybody was like, oh yeah, that early gyro hit on Gleemo, and I was like, yeah, because no one else has taken an early gyro hit at all. But no, so that's wave 3's coming up next couple weeks or so or whatever.
Yeah, it's next week.
Hey, that happened to you second wave, not third wave.
Yeah, that's true.
It also.
Hey, I'm glad to blame this curse on Gleemo. I'm more than happy to do that.
It wasn't consecutive until it happened to Gleemo.
Yeah, and then Dunamis. Yep.
The thing about curses is that when
kinda...
they evolve, you don't really.
You have no control over them.
People are just like, yeah, it's a curse, and this is what it does.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where I'm at. That's what I've been doing. That's where you can find me.
You know, speaking of people that you can find in places, Grimdark James.
Yes, I'm in many places. Sometimes today. I don't know where I was going with that.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I've had a tough one. So I am James. You can find me back here on Wednesday for Cyberpunk 2020++.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Saturday next week for the next Rogue Trader. I've also applied to guest on Oath of
Endosteel,
Endosteel, but I did talk some pretty mad talk there, so we'll see what happens there.
No, you'll get on. We need to finish this battle so we can get guests on. We got to start it.
No worries.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not everyone can be Soundwave and be at the top end of the list. Only one person can be at the top end.
But I had a good time, and I'm waiting to see how I go next week with doing the orc thing. Will I annoy our orc player base, or will they enjoy me being?
Let me ask you: are you going to crump the Yumis, or what's going on there?
No spoilers. I have to wait and see what.
I feel like without that information, I can't tell what's going to happen.
Yeah.
The thing you need to know is that my community fucking loves orcs and hates ultramarines, so we're like total rivals.
Whereas Nero loves ultramarines and hates orcs.
Yes, I know.
Well, Arthur, you're an ultramarines fan yourself, aren't you, Arthur? So
I am.
Yep.
It's weird how Nero aligns with that in many ways.
Yeah.
Yep, there's chat. Chat is out here for the orcs.
Yeah. Although they're out there for the D&D orcs, not the.
Yeah, there's gonna be a Saruman orc in the middle. We shall taste man flesh and I eat.
Have you seen the videos where they
redone the voice? Yeah, that's right. Why shouldn't we? Yeah. That's so good. Okay, you got anything else, James?
No, I'm good. I look forward to catching up with you guys again next week. And thank you for everyone for playing tonight.
Yeah,
and those that watched for watching.
Guys, thanks for joining us. If you're gonna get crumped, get crumped. I'll be back next week for the crumpin'. Who gets crumped? The crumper or the crumpy?
Trumpet.
No, crumpet is a food.